Are you wondering how long it will take to get rid of H. pylori at home? Well, in this video, we're going to discuss exactly how long it will take, including the exact test, treatment, and retest timeline that you need to follow to be 100% effective. We're going to look at the different options that you have for testing, which are quite limited, but also go over some very important things to know before you begin your treatment so you do not make any mistakes. Hi, I'm a certified clinical nutritionist and health coach. And today we're talking about H. pylori and how long it takes to get rid of it with a home test. If you haven't yet seen my other H. pylori videos, be sure to check them out. One is all about the symptoms and the other is about how to get rid of it and what you need to know. The first thing that you're going to need to do is get an H. pylori test. And the good news is there are some easy at-home options. Now, currently there's only one FDA-approved home test, and that is the HP test from a company called Acorn Laboratories. This is a 10-minute rapid test where you collect your sample, you put it on the test cassette, and then you add the provided buffer solution. You let it sit for 10 minutes, and then you read the result. It tells you if you have H. pylori in your system or not. The downside to this test is it's a little bit pricey. It's about $60 and it's not covered by insurance. However, if you use the link below, you can get 15% off this test. Another option that you have is to get a breath test. A breath test is usually the most accurate way to find out if you have H. pylori, and it involves drinking a solution containing urea, specifically 13C or 14C urea. And then you would breathe into a bag that's provided to you, and then they send it off to the lab to determine whether or not you have H. pylori. Now, there are some at-home breath testing kits that are being developed, but at the time of recording this video, they're not yet available. So the gold standard for testing at home right now is going to be the stool antigen test. Now, once you've gotten your results back and confirmed that you have H. pylori, you're going to want to start a 2-week treatment of antibiotics. And here's where things get tricky. You're going to want to follow the treatment exactly as described by your doctor and follow it for the full 2 weeks. Even if you feel better before the 2 weeks are up, do not stop the antibiotics because that could lead to antibiotic resistance. Also, do not change the doses or the frequency unless you talk to your doctor first. And finally, do not skip any doses. Taking all of the antibiotics together at the same time helps prevent resistance and also helps you finish the course of treatment faster. So now that we've talked about treatment, let's get to the part that you've been waiting for. How long does it take for H. pylori to clear? Well, it actually depends on the severity of your symptoms when you started treatment. In clinical trials, those who had more severe symptoms took longer to clear the bacteria. Those with dyspepsia took 48 days on average, and those with gastritis took 64 days. On the other hand, those without any symptoms cleared the bacteria much faster. They took just 14 days. In general, what we found is that it takes about 4 weeks for symptoms to improve and 6 weeks to completely clear the infection. Now that brings us to when you should retest. You should retest after you finish the 2-week treatment, and then again 4 weeks after that. Let's go ahead and put this all together and look at the full timeline from start to finish. Week 1 to week 2, you'll begin your treatment. By the end of week 1, you should start to feel a little bit better. However, keep in mind that some people with H. pylori never really experience symptoms, so you may not notice a difference. By the end of week 2, you'll finish your antibiotics and then wait another 4 weeks. At week 6, you'll repeat your H. pylori test. And if it's negative, congratulations, you're done. But if it's positive, you'll need to speak with your doctor about retreatment options. As always, this video is not intended to diagnose or treat any condition. And please talk to your doctor before making any changes to your diet or lifestyle. Be sure to check out my other videos on H. pylori, which are linked below. I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.